Nintendo made an official Joy-Con drift statement. But before we jump into the story, I want to introduce our special guest this week. Joining us for this story and all the other stories this week is Chadley. Welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me again.
Yeah, no problem. It makes more sense when they're separate videos.
Yes.
All right. Nintendo president Shuntaro Furukawa apologized for the Joy-Con drift, but that was pretty much where the statement ended, as they said they couldn't really speak more on it because of the ongoing lawsuit here in the United States. So I guess I just want to jump right in and say, we've talked about it a little bit before, but have you guys experienced Joy-Con drift, and what's your experience with Joy-Cons?
I have.
Yeah. My day one Joy-Cons drift all over the place.
All over the place? Oh no, both of them? I've only experienced it in my left one. I know people have it in their right Joy-Con, but I haven't experienced that yet.
Yeah,
but
that's where
it's super
mostly.
frustrating. Like, I was trying to play Animal Crossing in handheld mode, and my character doesn't go where I want him to go.
It's hard enough to line up where you want to dig, let alone
trying to terraform and I'm facing, walking away, and it's a pain.
How about you, Chadley? Have you had any problems with your Joy-Cons?
Oh yeah, I mean, I sent them back to get them repaired and everything, and they seem to be okay now. But same with Johniibo. I had the same issue with the left Joy-Cons because when I bought the system, I bought an extra pair of Joy-Cons, so they were both Gen 1 Joy-Cons, and both had the same issue over time. And so yeah, I mean, it's a painless process. I mean, you just send them back, and they'll send them back fixed, but still a little bit of a pain. I mean, nowadays, I just if I barely use my Joy-Cons. I always use a Pro controller if I can.
Right.
And even with the Pro controller, I have some issues with that sometimes.
Oh, really?
Not nearly as bad, but it's just like the joystick doesn't actually give you drift, but it just doesn't seem to be. I don't know. It just doesn't seem to be as good.
It's not as responsive. I feel like I've had I got a day one Pro controller. I got it. I mean, I guess it's been over 3 years now that I've had it. So it's not that surprising that something would go wrong. But yeah, I've noticed that the Joy-Cons, the sticks on the controller just aren't as responsive as they used to be.
Well, don't you throw your Pro controller every time you lose a Smash match?
Man, I'm throwing it all over the place.
A massive rage problem.
Yeah, I got holes in my wall. That's why I use a green screen, so you don't see the holes in the wall.
Well, and I've
had issues.
I've
had issues.
Go ahead, Chad. You're the guest.
You go.
Sorry about that. I mean, we bought my son the one special edition one for the Splatoon Pro controller, and
cool.
and that one we actually had problems pretty early on. I haven't looked into sending it back, but I'll probably have to pay now to get that one fixed. But the left Joy-Con has some dead spots in it, or not the left Joy-Con, the left analog stick has some dead spots. Like if you push up, and you try to go into the calibration tool, you can definitely see that when you press up, it doesn't always go up, and it's just bouncing all over the place. And but then everywhere else is fine. It's just that when you are pressing up or trying to go up and left, up and right, it's just spotty sometimes. And so we don't really use that one anymore. But it's a shame that you buy this special edition Pro controller and not even. I think it was not even within a year that we bought it. It started doing that, so
that's rough.
That sucks. That's a nice controller. I wish I would have picked one up.
I have experienced Joy-Con drift and have sent them in for repair and got them back, and now I am experiencing syncing issues with the exact same Joy-Cons. So this
mine
Joy-Con
aren't syncing
pair.
right either.
Oh, yeah, you were gonna. Sorry, Cam, you were actually about to say something.
So
what were you gonna say?
They sync wirelessly, but the other night I was playing Sword and Shield, and I put them on, and I I had just done like a raid, and I was like in between like a wall and a den, and my stick wasn't responding at all. So I thought, I like got myself stuck in the game, and I soft locked myself.
Oh, that's funny.
So, and I took the Joy-Cons off, and it worked. So I was like really confused. And then when you hit the home button, it says like nothing's connected, but like my Joy-Cons are attached to it.
Oh boy,
That sucks.
the Joy-Cons, the day one Joy-Cons are dying. Everyone, they had a 3-year lifespan, 3.5-year lifespan.
I had a similar problem too, where it was like it's only with my right Joy-Con too. Is it just your right Joy-Con, Camilo?
It was actually my left Joy-Con.
Okay. Well, with my right one, every once in a while, like some of the buttons will work, but like the right shoulder button wouldn't work for some reason, and then like I'll unplug it from like I'll take it off of the Switch, and so it's not docked to it, and all of a sudden the Joy-Con just works like normal, and then I'll put it back on, and then everything will work like normal. So it's like it's really weird how it's attached, and you know it's attached because some of the buttons work, but then other buttons just don't respond.
That's so odd.
Sometimes it's just really weird.
I think the Joy-Con are probably the worst controllers I've ever had. And they're probably the most expensive controllers, right? Because you pay what $80
for a set.
pair,
Yeah,
$50 if you want to buy one separately. But like this doesn't have anything to do with drifting. But you know, I have Ring Fit Adventure, right? And the way that works is you put a Joy-Con on your leg and you put one in the ring. And sometimes it just like spazzes out in the ring.
Yeah,
like it doesn't stop rumbling. It doesn't doesn't sync all the time. So it's like, these are and they're just poorly made, and they're not made for adults. Like they're tiny. Like you can't play single Joy-Con if you are older than 5 years old.
It's rough. I had to buy, just speaking of the Joy-Cons and kind of the Switch in general, I had to buy, and I think, John, you have one too, those like grips.
Oh, yeah.
So that there's actual like meat for me to hold when I'm playing a video game. Because it's like this, I can't hold like this little tablet with like these tiny buttons. I need like my hands to go somewhere. I don't know. Maybe Nintendo's just trying to tell us something.
Yeah, we're too old for their stuff.
Hey man, why don't you guys go get a new hobby?
Stop giving us. We don't need your money anymore.
All right, so we definitely have all had problems then, which is, you know, that's every time we've talked about it, it's been 4 for 4. Everyone's had problems. So, like, it doesn't matter who we have on, it's 4 for 4. How do you guys feel about Nintendo just apologizing and not really addressing, like, their game plan and steps to prevent this in the future?
It's frustrating. Just frustrating.
It's extremely frustrating, yeah.
Like, they haven't, you know, they have the whole, you send it in and you get it repaired. But they never mention anything like we're going to manufacture these differently so it doesn't happen in the future. No, it's a reactive instead of a proactive approach.
Mm-hmm.
And it just sucks.
It's
It's not a consumer friendly approach.
No, but you know what though? I will give them credit for the fact that they're just like, we don't care when you bought them, just send them in. Yeah. And like they're starting to fix them. But I mean, I guess that did take the pressure of being sued by everyone who ever bought a Switch for them to do that. So that's a little frustrating. But yeah, I don't know. I kind of wish they would just be like, we are manufacturing them differently now. Like, but then people would be like, okay, we want the new ones. Trade you. Yeah, that's true. They would lose so much money.
Well, it reminds me of the Red Ring of Death for Xbox 360. They lost like billions and billions of dollars replacing all these Xboxes.
Right, but if they didn't do it, they would have been out of the game.
Yeah, it's crazy. Well,
they basically approved that over just so that they could, you know, in 2020 go back to it being a PC product. That's pretty funny.
I know that. Around the time when they started doing that, where they were saying like, "Oh, we're going to fix it for you" and everything, I remember seeing some people doing videos about how they noticed that the Joy-Cons out in the retail market started having different model numbers, almost like you said, like they didn't make an announcement saying that, "Oh, we're gonna update the Joy-Cons." I think they just did it quietly, and they just came out with another model, like the next model number or revision. They came out with a revision for the Joy-Cons that they brought out to the retail market. So then now if you buy them, it's like, how do you know? Like, unless you were looking at that revision number on the box, it's like, how would you know if you're still buying Generation 1 versus Generation 2 or 3 or 4 or however many revisions they've made so far since they've been out?
I'm definitely gonna look into that. Like, I'm gonna go pick up a pair of new ones.
I'm pretty sure that if you bought new ones now, they're gonna be like, you're not gonna have that issue with the drifting and the syncing issues and stuff. So
I haven't purchased Joy-Con since the initial release of the Switch. Just because I think they're horrible controllers, and I would rather just pay another $80 to buy another Pro controller than get more Joy-Con.
Yeah, but dude, you can't play some games with like multiple Pro controllers, like Clubhouse 51. Like, I'm pretty sure you have to use Joy-Cons.
Well, no, you can use a Pro controller, but
not for
certain games. But there's 52 games on there, Phil.
I'm pretty sure there's only 51, and and the only one that's worth playing is darts. I'm just kidding. That game is actually awesome, and I play it all the time.
You can't play bowling on it without Joy-Con.
That soccer game is infuriating, though. Have you guys played that one?
The tabletop soccer?
Yeah.
I love the baseball one, the tabletop baseball. It's fun.
Yeah, it's a good time. Man, we're getting off topic.
it's still Joy-Con related, though. So
yeah, it's sort of. Yeah, you're right. Well, then, do you have that game, Chadley? Let's talk.
No, I don't. Like, I was thinking about picking it up, but the multiplayer in that game, since you guys are playing it, is that online only? So, like, or are there some games that you can do local multiplayer?
You can play local on everything, I think.
Yep.
Okay.
There's only
some games you can't, like Texas Hold'em. You can't do local because you would need to
like, have to like cheat.
You'd have to like hide your cards from your partner, kind of a thing.
Yeah,
I don't like Texas Hold'em on that game anyway because you can't put your money around.
Yeah, blackjack's kind of broken too. Like if you actually know how to play cards, it's sort of like not that great, but it'll scratch the itch.
Yeah.
But anyways, I like that game. I play it with my wife all the time.
I've watched a few people do some of the mini games and stuff that are on there, and I mean they look like there would be a really fun thing to do with the family and stuff. Since I have a little bit of a larger family than most.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I don't have any kids or anybody to play with.
I don't have any kids.
Well, I do have somebody to play with.
I have nieces and nephews though. That my niece finally played Animal Crossing for the first time.
What? How old are you allowed to be
3
to start playing games?
I mean, I'm gonna just put a Switch in the crib and like let him figure it out.
Chadley, you're the father. How old?
Yeah.
How old?
I don't know. Well, my kids were pretty young when they started learning how to play games and stuff. Like my oldest, when she was like, I don't even think she was a 1-year-old yet, and we had her on the PC already. She was able to figure out some of the pop
Counter-Strike stuff.
The PopCap type games.
Yeah.
Just there's like little
Peggle?
simple like games. Like I think the one was called Chuzzles. Chuzzles was one of the games that she learned, and it was just like a really simple, basic game. Just she was able to figure it out like right away. But yeah, I mean, obviously, she was probably too young. But
good to know. 1 year old.
Yeah,
1 year old. Just have them play on the Switch.
Games.
Yep.
Grand Theft Auto, get them on there.
Doom Eternal.
It's all on the Switch, so you know it must be. Okay.
It's true. That means it's family friendly. If it's on the
Nintendo,
Switch, it means it's family friendly. That's hilarious. All right. Well, that's all I really have to say about that topic. You guys have any final thoughts? Sweet. All right. Well, Nintendo, thanks for taking accountability. Now we're just gonna have to wait and see how they handle this issue when inevitably all the Switch lights break.
Thank you so much, Chadley, for co-hosting with us this week. If you'd like to check out his content, all of his links will be in the description. Thank you guys so much for watching, and we will see you next time.